What's going on, Facebook, YouTube? It's election season 2020. You're in the IceBox with yours truly, DJ Frosty Freeze. I'm glad you could make it for a minute. We're going to discuss all the things that are going on for a little while here on Facebook and YouTube. And then we're going to run it over to Mixcloud, where we can actually jump into some music, have a little party atmosphere, and give you all the latest on what's going on. Stuff is tight right now. Polls are starting to close on the eastern seaboard, and we're getting it in. It looks like Miami down there in Florida. Something looks like it's a miss. Something doesn't seem quite right down there. It looks like the vote count's kind of short. It shows right now with 72% reported as I'm looking at it live. But let's get into it for a couple minutes.
Frosty Freeze. Let the attack begin.
That's right. It's election season. We're at it again. I'm not going to lie, man. It's been about a good 20 years or so since I've actually did a broadcast for election season. And this one's a crazy one. It's tight. People are going nuts out there. They don't know what the heck is going on. But we're going to try and fill you in a little bit on what is going on. So here we go. So as I said a minute ago, Florida's in at 72% reported. And as I get to the numbers here, it looks like Biden's up in Florida by a little over 1% so far with 72% of the vote in. It's a tight, close race. Can't call it at all yet. Georgia with, Georgia has 5%. Reported with, looks like Trump up by a little over 1%. North Carolina coming in. The polls close in North Carolina at 7:30 p.m. We expect that to be a big Trump win there. But very few ballots in yet there, so we're not getting a count there. And, of course, another stronghold in Arizona. We want to know what's going on in Arizona, and they don't close until 9 p.m. local time in Arizona. But let's run it down. Georgia has Trump up by 1.5% with 5% of the vote in. Again, Florida has Biden at 1.8% with 73% of the vote in. Indiana's got Trump at 37 points ahead with 12% of the vote in. And South Carolina, Trump at 13 points ahead with 1%. So it's early. And I'm seeing some interesting numbers here. It looks like New Hampshire has Biden up 14 points with 3%. 8% of the votes in Virginia. And it has Biden at... they have a check mark there. It looks like they're already calling Biden a winner over there. Down in Kentucky, they got Trump as a winner with he's up 24. No big surprise there. West Virginia. Yeah, we all know what West Virginia is like. We just saw some videos of that not too long ago. West Virginia is at 0%, but they got Trump projected to win West Virginia by a landslide. Vermont, with 3% of the vote in, shows Biden at 25 points ahead. So we're moving along. I'm glad to have you. We're going to be here most of the night. I will be switching over to Mixcloud.com. I want you to get set for that because we're going to move it over there later. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Yeah, they're coming in fast and furious. They got Kentucky and West Virginia slotted as red as I'm looking at my map right now. What up, everybody? Good to see you. Good to see you, Irma. Good to see you, Terry. Good to see you, Donnie. Glad you all can make it. I won't be monitoring the chat too much because I'm going to be switching over to another platform. But if you go to my page and if you look on, scroll down a couple on the page, you'll see the link where you're going to find me later on this evening after I get off this broadcast. Roughly at about 8 o'clock, I'm going to jump over to Mixcloud because they don't censor us. They don't take down our music. They don't take down any kind of stuff that we're going to do. So we're going to move it all over there. And we're going to get live and direct with you over on that platform today. But I appreciate you all for jumping in on Facebook and YouTube right now. We're giving you the early counts on the eastern part of the United States. With Florida has 73%, and we're watching Miami-Dade County in particular because that's usually a Democrat stronghold, and Biden's got a slim lead there, and they're wondering that the vote counts are not matching the voter turnout. So there's some questions there. We'll have to keep an eye on that one and watch it. But it's getting interesting, folks. It's definitely getting interesting. Let's see. If you are enjoying the content that you get here this evening, I would ask you kindly to donate to the Cash App that you can see on the bottom of my screen. That's at $DJ Frosty Freeze, $1, $2, 50 cents. Speaking of 50 cent, I think he wants to become a politician now. Not sure what's going on with that, but I got a theory on these hip hop heads getting paid to say some things. Kind of like the old days where they got paid for play and all that kind of stuff. Ohio's in at 17% with Biden up by 32 points so far. The polls closed there at 8 p.m. That would be Eastern time. So roughly in about an hour, or actually about 15 minutes from now. So the polls will be closing there in about 15 minutes or so. I believe that's Eastern time. It might be local time. Somebody can mention in the chat either way. But we're glad to have you. Like I said, if you want to contribute, you can hit that Cash App. Be sure to follow me on all the social media platforms, Instagram. If you look at the scrolling ticker on top, it'll tell you where to go and where to see me. Also, if you wish to advertise, be sure to hit the email. That's freezeframeradio@gmail.com if you want to advertise on the show. The show is going to be much more regular coming in the new year, so we're going to get all that going for you. Right now, we appreciate you for jumping in. We got all the hot election coverage coming at you live and direct. We will have our projected winner at the end of the night if it's possible. We're looking for a huge, huge blue turnout this time, bigger than we've ever seen in history. There's already been more votes than we've ever seen in history. I know I've already taken a new person to the polls. I've heard stories from around the country of new folks getting out, brand new voters, some people in their 40s, some in their 50s, and even 60s and above are out there voting for the first time. The election is that important. It's increasingly decisive right now. So folks they're taking it serious, man. They're out here. So right now, Florida shows Biden, and the number decreased a little bit. It was up 1.8. It dropped a point. Biden is up in Florida right now with 79% of the vote in. He's at 0.8 of a lead in Ohio with 17%. He is currently at 32 points ahead. In Georgia, Trump's up by 6 points with 5% of the vote in. He's expected to win in Georgia. And, of course, we'll be looking at the Senate races as well. But right now, we got some early numbers in on the Eastern board. Let's see what we got here. All right, here it is. Trump just jumped up another point in Florida. It's now 49.8% Biden, 49.2% Trump. In Georgia, with Trump is ahead by 52% to 46.6%. North Carolina with 1% of the vote coming in. Also a predicted Trump win, but it's in play. Don't count it out now. 62.9% for Trump right now with 37.1% for Biden. Man, it's hot and wild. What up, Cheryl? Glad you could stop in for a moment. Appreciate it. What else have we got going on here? Election night is in the building. Let me see if I can throw up the graphic here so you can see what I'm seeing. Let's see here. Let's go, and I'll scroll down for you, and you can get an idea of what's going on. And this is brought to you by the New York Times in real time. All right, there we have it. You can see the numbers. Trump is coming back strong in Florida. It's neck and neck. It's a tie right now. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. As I said, I'm going to stick around with you for a little while here, maybe till about 7:30 Central. But I'm going to need you to go over to mixcloud.com/live/DJ Frosty Freeze. And that's where you're going to get all the real coverage and the music breaks and all of that stuff. They don't censor us over there, so we're definitely going to be bringing you the goods from over there tonight. And we have us a regular old dance party regardless of the outcome. Here's the current numbers. Yeah, let me get this down a little bit. I can see I'm blocking a little bit of your view, but I can read it for you anyway. That blue mark with the check is, let me move it up for you and you can see it a little better. That shows Biden potentially winning Virginia with 13% of the vote in already. I don't like those early predictions like that. I mean, I know we have a good idea of who's going to win what state, but with so much on the line right now, I'm not a big fan of giving the check mark out as soon as the poll closes. But hey, maybe they know something we don't know. I know they tend to count early with the early voting and the early mail-in ballots. So I'm assuming that's what's going on there. Big shout out to those that stopped in tonight and those that have chatted with me for the last month or so, talking about the upcoming elections and all the things that were happening in their counties. Had a friend of mine in Illinois who had his ballot voided, but the rest of his family ballots all went through smooth sailing. They checked them out, and turns out his ballot was voided. Not sure what's going on there, but it happens, and it seems to be quite prevalent this time. So we got to keep an eye on that stuff. But let's see, we got a new update. They are literally tied number for number in Florida, with Biden winning by 49.6%. Well, I shouldn't say by that. The total count, as you can see on the screen, is 49.6%. With Trump coming in at 49.5%, they are neck and neck tied. Georgia, that's a close one. 50.8% with 7% of the vote in. And by the way, Florida has 80% of the vote in right now. Georgia sitting at 50.8%, 48.2% going to Biden. Trump expected to win in Georgia tonight, but we'll see. North Carolina, 62.9% with 1% of the vote in, which doesn't mean much, but it shows you the numbers that are coming in. 37.1% to Biden, 62.9% to Trump. And we will let you know who's flipping what. Right now, in Ohio, Biden up 27 points at 20%. Trump in Texas up 27 points with 1% of the vote in. New Hampshire has Biden up with 4% of the vote in, 11 points. Pennsylvania with New Hampshire has Biden up with 4% of the vote in, 11 points. Pennsylvania with 1% of the vote in, Biden at 27 points. South Carolina with 1% of the vote in, Trump is at 12 points. Indiana, 17 plus 35 points. So it's moving along. As I said, if you are enjoying your evening or enjoying watching me talk tonight, be sure to like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. Don't share. If the reason why I tell you to share and like and all that isn't because you have to like the video or you have to like me or any of that stuff. It's because it helps get the video spread out so other people can see it. It works with the algorithms to get things moving, and we can kind of see what's going on that way. And more people can see it, they can get it, they can subscribe to the channel. If you feel like you're getting some good information, you're having a good time with us, you can donate at the Cash App and keep it going. with $sign DJ Frosty Freeze. All you got to do is download that Cash App in your App Store or the Play Store, and you'll be good to go. And you can support your man, DJ Frosty Freeze. All right, all right. We're in the building.
Your girlfriend's favorite DJ, DJ Frosty Freeze.
So what else is going on out there? Let's look. We are tied 100% in Florida right now. I'm gonna move over here and let's see what we got here. There we are. All right. What's going on, Dot? I see you. Glad you can make it. We're looking at the totals in Florida and Georgia as they're coming in right now. Florida at 81% reported. They are tied. 49.5% of the vote is going to Biden, with exactly 49.5% of the vote going to Trump. Florida is divided. They have no idea what's going on in Florida, but it's neck and neck. Now, there has been some talk about disparities within the tallies there. They're saying that the voter turnout is not matching the actual votes being counted this evening, with 81% in. That's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. I don't want to scare anybody, but it is what it is. That's what the locals are saying on the ground. That's not coming from me. That's just what I'm hearing out on the ground down there. All right. So if you're in the chat, either on Facebook, I'm not seeing you right now on Instagram or YouTube. But if you're there, just know I appreciate it. I'm going to see if I can't jump over here and try and find everybody. All right, now I can see what's going on. All right, here we go. Nobody's in the chat in YouTube, that's fine. But I see you all in Facebook. I got a separate page here for Facebook. Looking at you all, appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. Let me get back off of here and see what's going on with these numbers again. I do not know what just happened there. Something my software was doing just glitched. Sorry about that. All right, what's going on in the Twitter world? Joe Biden's talking about stay in line, folks. Stay in line. I don't know what's going on. It sounds like people are getting forced out of lines because they think they can't vote after 8 o'clock. People are telling them not to get out of the lines. Do not leave the lines, folks. If you are in line and your polling place closes, they have to stop it where you are in line. Do not leave. Do not be forced off the line. If they try to tell you to leave that line, do not leave that line. Bill O'Reilly's talking about Trump looking soft in Georgia 20 minutes ago. He loses there. That's a major setback, he says. That's Bill O'Reilly. Let me see if I can get that screen up for you guys. This is funny over here in Twitter land, man. Oh yeah. All right, here's Twitter land for you. Let's see what's going on. David Weissman says, I'm drinking a White Russian to get through the night. What's your go-to drink to get me through? Well, I'm actually having a brandy, folks. I may have a few of them before the night's over with. And then you got the knucklehead here DJ TJ says, how many electoral college votes does Biden get when he wins in China? Yeah, okay. Pete Buttigieg's husband, Chasten Buttigieg, is laughing about the breaking news every 5 seconds with 1% of the vote in. Dum, dum, dum. 1% of the votes now being reported in Guam. Let's go to the board. I hear you, man. I hear you. That's exactly how it works. Oh, this is crazy, crazy, crazy. T-Pain is feeling like a jumpy toad frog about Florida. I hear you, man. I'm jumping around myself. Woo! It's getting wild. It's getting wild. I don't know what Tulsi Gabbard's talking about. But yeah, I have to agree. She's talking about coming together. I believe I'm totally on board with that. I'm in that camp. We all need to come together. The Raging Cajun, James Carville is telling you to remember 2016. Virginia was too close to call early. Don't count it out right away is basically what he's trying to tell us. All right, all right. There's Chris Hayes. You can read what he says there on the screen if you're paying attention here. Again, I'd like to thank you all for stopping into Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to check us out on all the social media. Hit the like, subscribe. Also, donate at the Cash App. If you don't have the Cash App or unfamiliar with the Cash App, go to your Play Store, look at it, download it, set up your bank account, and donate 50 cents, $1, $5, $1,000. We don't care. Donate it. It keeps us going and doing the show. In a little while, I'm going to be getting off of YouTube and Facebook. Although I know you guys love this platform, unfortunately, they like to restrict us here and censor our content. So we're going to move it over to Mixcloud.com. And I'll be doing that at roughly around 8 o'clock tonight. There we can actually have some music, have some fun, get a little buck wild up in here, and enjoy the night, regardless of what goes on. Virginia. Oh, no. Yeah, Twitter can be a beast. All right, all right, all right. Moving along, moving along. Let's see what's going back on with the counts. All right, update. Florida. Ooh, Florida's got you a little jumpy. 49.6% of the vote in with 82% reported. It is now 49.7. It just jumped on my look here. 49.7% going for Biden. He just jumped up with 49.3% going to Trump. Georgia jumped back up one percentage point to 50% of the vote in with 10% reported at Biden and 49% Trump. And still no movement in North Carolina with 1% of the vote in. Here's the broader picture. Biden is all over the map on this. For the moment, Biden's up by 18 points with 31% of the 31% of the votes in Ohio. Trump in North Carolina is up by 26 points with 1% of the vote in. Don't count North Carolina out just yet. And there's a big Senate race going on there with Jamie Harrison and Lindsey Graham. So you want to keep an eye on that. That's a big race going on too. There's a lot of big races. Maine. Yep, that's right. Maine. Susan Collins up for re-election. Very close race expected there. These are the states they project the candidates to win easily. Of course, you got the usuals in the red corner: Alabama, Kentucky, Mississippi, Tennessee, West Virginia. West Virginia right now is the only one with some vote totals, though, so far, with 4% of the vote in. But Trump seems to have a big lead there already. So as the polls close, we'll be bringing them to you. But I want to remind you that I'll be jumping off of Facebook and moving over to Mixcloud.com. I will be texting throughout on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff. You can follow us at Twitter at FRadio76. And you'll be getting the latest there as well. But the live broadcast will actually be on Mixcloud.com/live/DJ Frosty Freeze. And again, the reason for that is for more freedom, basically. We want to get music that won't be taken down and all that kind of stuff. And we want to be able to share our opinions and our voice with you and give you the totals. Here's the map so far and what it's looking like. Illinois is expected to be blue. Virginia looks like it's expected to be blue. Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Vermont are expected to remain blue. The big toss-ups, of course, are Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Biden is actually leading in Pennsylvania as we speak. We'll see how that turns out. Of course, Ohio and Indiana playing a major role. But Florida is what we got to check out here, with 49.6% in Donald Trump's favor right now. But the problem that people are seeing is that the voters, or the vote turnout, is not matching the numbers, is what they're saying on the ground there from the text messages and stuff that I'm getting over here. I'm looking at my phone right now. Be sure to hit that like button. Let me know you're in the building if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you know when I'm in the building. If you're in the comment section or the chat, let me know where you're listening or watching from. That helps me know where I'm reaching and where I'm going to. If you're in another country, let me know that too. You don't need to tell me who you're voting for. I don't care about any of all that. Just let me know. Just say you voted if you want to. We all want to know who's out there performing their civic duties and who's doing what they need to do. At the end of the night, I may jump back on here and have the projected winner on this screen here. And we'll let you know how that goes, if we're able to do that or not. We'll have to see. But so far, this is what our map is looking like. No totals yet in Oklahoma. The polls haven't closed there yet, I believe. What time do we got? Oh, it is 7:08 Central Time. So 8 o'clock Eastern, I believe the polls are going to start closing in Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and most of that eastern part of the United States. So it should be pretty interesting. Start getting some numbers in. No, I'm not going to play any of those fancy breaking news sounds, but I will throw this in once in a while. Once again, you're live with DJ Frosty Freeze on a Tuesday election night. It's been 20 years to the day that I did a live broadcast on election night. And some of the folks that are in this, that were in the chat this evening, were a part of that. And I'd like to send a shout out to all of them. J-Dog, Madam Dee, all of you that have played your part in this little endeavor that we call Freeze Frame Radio. Of course, back then it was the Snow Show. And boy, was that wild. What up, Sam? Glad to have you in. Be sure to check out further down on my timeline. I will be switching over to Mixcloud.com/DJ Frosty Freeze. The link is down in the on my timeline where you're watching this from now on Facebook. It's also in the YouTube channel. It's also in the description. And I also want to remind you that you can just click the link right from there. I will be there at 8 o'clock because I'm tired of Facebook taking us down for copyright and music and all that kind of stuff. And we'll be able to have a good time over there, play some music, take some breaks from the stuff going on out in the world right now while the votes are coming in. You don't have to listen to me talk constantly for hours upon hours. You can actually jam out to some of the music that we got going. That's right. They don't take us down there. So how's everybody doing otherwise? Please like, subscribe, share the video. That helps us get the word out to everybody that's able to watch on their social media and all that good stuff. Lets me know you're in the building. I won't be live streaming on Facebook at all. Well, I might do something later after, towards midnight or so, or when this thing starts to get a little crazy. But wow. I'm looking at Virginia right now, and this is crazy. There's a 215,000 vote difference with 23% of the vote in for Biden at the moment. But that's only 23% of the vote, so we got a long way to go. Long way to go. And just a reminder, I know there's a lot of people scared about when this thing's going to get called. Elections are never called on the night. They are just projections. They are just what we see by the numbers and by the data that's out there and that's available for you. The actual election is not called until all the votes are counted. That means everybody that mailed in a ballot before whatever their deadlines were in their state, and those the court has not shot down, will get counted. And that's the way it works. That's how it is. The military mails their votes in from overseas. And we've been doing this for a long time. And somehow this year, everybody has this different opinion on that. And there is no different opinion. That's just the way it is. That's how it's always been. And that's how well, maybe it'll still be like that in the future. I don't know. But it's always been that way. There is no declared winner on the night of elections. They are simply projections. The actual tallies do not come out for at least a few days to a couple weeks. So just keep that in mind. And if you're in line, wherever you're listening from, I know that there were a couple on YouTube today that were out west somewhere and that were in line on the eastern board here that were being told they have to leave the line. If you were in that line before your poll closed, they have to let you in the polling place. Do not get out of the line. I'm starting to see that now. They're posting that stuff on Twitter, so be very, very leery about, be very vigilant about that. It's election time, and there's a lot of stuff going on with elections and people trying to stop you from voting and all this kind of stuff. If you were in that line, I'm telling you, if you were in that line, do not leave that line. If you were in that line before the polls closed, do not leave that line. Stay in line. Your vote is your voice, and it needs to be counted. Once again, if you're enjoying the content, I'm your host, DJ Frosty Freeze. You can join me on Mixcloud later, where we'll actually be playing some music during the breaks. And enjoying the commentary and the following and sharing your chat. There's a live chat in Mixcloud. And for those of you, you can see it scrolling across your screen right now. You can subscribe to my channel on Mixcloud. There's where we do all the music, and eventually the podcasts are going to be headquartered there. That's where most of my podcasts are going to sit. They're going to broadcast from there. And there you can actually, you'll be able to subscribe there as an exclusive member and get some of the behind-the-scenes content that most other people don't get. I appreciate you for coming to the page. A tweet from Tulsi Gabbard, former presidential candidate. She says, "It is election day. You may be thrilled or heartbroken with the results. No matter the outcome, let us remember who we are as Americans and what unites us. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. United we stand, divided we fall. Onward together." I agree with her. Just checking out all the stuff going on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at Freeze or at FRadio76. And that's the Freeze Frame Radio Twitter account. You can follow us there, where I will be posting live tweets and stuff later. There won't be many of that because I'm a one-man machine tonight. I don't have a crew here. We're all doing our part to social distance and all that good stuff. So I don't have a bunch of people here working with me tonight. So I'm just manning the controls all by myself and doing what I can do with what I got. This is the projected map I'm looking at now. It looks like Minnesota blue, Michigan blue. They're projecting right now on Ballotpedia. If you go to ballotpedia.org, right there, you can see what's going on. Right now, I am looking at the Senate race. And I'm looking at the trends, man, and it's way different this time around than it was in 2016. The House of Representatives are still holding tight in the blue area. So the current incumbents that are up for re-election right now, and most of them are Republicans, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let me see if I can get that up on the screen for you. Right now, it looks like, well, Doug Jones, the guy, he was a good senator regardless, but Alabama's always been hardcore red. Like if you're blue, and you got to remember, Doug Jones got that on a special thing, and during the middle of a term when Sessions got pushed out, it was kind of a surprise win down there with the special election. But he's actually he's probably gonna lose tonight. So that's one blue seat that's gonna be lost. We got Arizona, which is a very difficult seat right there. This one here, this Martha McSally. Yeah, she's struggling there. But we'll see what happens. We're hoping Arizona goes full blue in our camp over here. I don't know about you guys. We're looking for the excitement. Cory Gardner's got some struggles going on in Colorado. In Georgia, David Perdue has got some issues. Ossoff is running against Georgia, and if you saw that debate, that was brutal. So that's one to look at. Kelly Loeffler, another one to look at in Georgia. Interesting situation going on in Georgia, but she's favored to win that, and we'll see what happens there. Joni Ernst, they say they like her over there. We'll see what happens there, but it was pretty close for a minute. We'll see what goes on over there. Kansas has Pat Roberts up, and of course Kentucky, Mitch McConnell, Amy McGrath. I think there were some mistakes on McGrath's part. I think she's a great candidate, but I think she made some mistakes and tried to ride the fence too long, and I think that ultimately is gonna harm her in this election. Giving Mitch McConnell, allowing Mitch McConnell to hold on to his seat, but we'll see what happens there. Susan Collins in Maine, that's gonna be real tight. Last I saw, it was trending her way by like a half a point or something like this, but she's struggling. It's gonna be a battle there. Gary Peters seems to be safe in Michigan. Minnesota, Tina Smith also seems to be safe. Montana, yeah, that seems to be a safe one, but we'll see what happens. New Hampshire, Jean Shaheen, yep. That seems to be pretty good. Tom Tillis is struggling. He's got a fight on his hands, and like I said before, Jamie Harrison over in South Carolina against Lindsey Graham. That's going to be a battle, but it looks like it's going to favor Lindsey Graham. And another one that people are excited to look at is the Texas Senate seat with John Cornyn. So we'll see what happens down there. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Let's see what's going on with the, let's see here. We don't want to look at that. Not much happening there. Let's go back to our projections. All right, Florida looks like Trump's up by a little over 1.5 points with 89% of the vote in. Pretty optimistic over there in that camp, I bet you. Ohio looks with 12 points up with Biden, 12 up with 40%, 41% of the vote in. Arizona. Polls are still going. They're still live. Pennsylvania, 3% of the vote in with Biden up plus 67%. And Michigan with 1% of the vote in, Biden up by 19 points. So Wisconsin polls don't close until, well, another half hour, 40 minutes or so. And we'll start to get some numbers here locally in Wisconsin, which is where I am speaking to you all from right now. All right, yeah, Florida. Yeah, it looks interesting. And I'm going to keep talking about it. It says that the numbers aren't matching the amount of votes that were brought in there. So it's going to be interesting. Florida seems to be interesting right now. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. I don't know if it's somebody said somebody needs to scrape the post office for ballots. I find that interesting. So here we are. I just want to let you know you can donate at the Cash App, $ DJ Frosty Freeze. Every dollar helps. I appreciate it. I will definitely give you a shout out and let you know what's going on. Right now, it looks like Biden's ahead in Texas with 54% of the vote in. See what happens. We're halfway through in Texas. Georgia, Trump's up by almost 100,000 votes. I think he's, let's see, what is he? He's roughly up about 80,000 votes with 54.5% of the vote. And Joe Biden at 44.5% of the vote. Yes, sir. It's getting crazy out here. It's getting crazy. All right. Once again, my YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all those fans out there, everybody that's watching or has watched tonight or is going to see this video later, be sure to like, subscribe, share the video. I'm going to be jumping off here in about 3 or 4 minutes to get ready for the show on Mixcloud. And once again, you can find me if you're on Facebook right now watching this live, or if you're on my Facebook feed. You can go over to mixcloud.com/live/DJ Frosty Freeze. And you'll be able to see all the live coverage throughout the evening. Over there, I will be going there simply because we don't get censored there. We can play music and they won't copyright us or silence it or any of that kind of stuff. So that's where I will be going. I will be going to mixcloud.com at roughly 8 o'clock Central. So be sure to check me out over there. If you scroll down my page on my feed, the link will be in the feed. You'll see the posting there. Just click the link at sometime at about 8 o'clock or so, and you'll be able to jump in live, and we'll have some music and periodic vote tallies and stuff going on, and you can enjoy the music, enjoy the show. We're going to do it radio style over there, and we'll definitely show you what's going on with everything that's happening. We'll show you the projected outcomes. Florida is the state to watch right now. It's tight. It's neck and neck. But there's some questions being raised about missing ballots or something to this effect. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens. We'll see what the mainstream is talking about there. I appreciate you all for coming in. And I'll sign off here in a few minutes. but enjoy the graphic while you got a second. This graphic updates. It updates regularly, and it does it in real time, so that's why I got it on. And you can find this graphic at the NewYorkTimes.com interactive, and you'll have all the latest. Also want to give a shout out to those at TYT for giving me a big shout out the other day. I appreciate it. And those that donated a couple months ago, I haven't been on for a while because I've been busy with other stuff, philanthropic work and all that kind of stuff. Those that donated a couple months ago, I appreciate it. You all know who you are. If you want to donate, you can see the Cash App at the bottom of the screen. Hit that. Be sure to get me on Twitter at FRadio76. Check out the YouTube channel where they're watching right now, Freeze Frame Radio. Become a subscriber. Be sure to like, subscribe, share the videos, comment, do all that stuff. It helps get the word out. It helps get the channel promoted and all that good stuff. Also, become a monthly member at Mixcloud. You can join for free, but if you want to be an exclusive member for exclusive content, it's like $2.99, cheaper than a cup of coffee, and you can join us over at Mixcloud and get some exclusive content for a monthly price of $3, $2.99. Also, any donation at the Cash App will get you something special. Just leave your email in the description when you do it, in the little notes there, and I will definitely send you something special. I appreciate you all for listening. We will see you at 8 o'clock on Mixcloud. Interesting. Yeah, wow. They're calling New Jersey for Biden already. Gosh, I hate when they do that. Florida's the one to watch, though. Florida is the one to watch. Folks, they are still delivering ballots. They are still delivering ballots to be counted. In North Carolina, we have, it looks right now in North Carolina, Biden is leading at 54%, with 44.9% going to Trump, with 60% of the vote in right now. This is crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. I'm going over to Mixcloud here, and we're gonna have some music. We're gonna get this show on the road. We're gonna do this thing. We're gonna get these numbers to you. Wow, North Carolina is really, really showing me something here, man. Let me see if I can get this back up for you guys before I get out of here. If you look at this number on your screen, to the left, those lines have been steady. One dipped, one went up, but that looks like, yeah, it looks blue. 54%, 53.9%, 44.9%. All right, so he lost a percentage point right now. 62% of the vote reported. They are still bringing in ballots in North Carolina. They're trucking them in right now. I'm looking at it on a separate screen. All right, we'll see you over there on Mixcloud. I am DJ Frosty Freeze. Be sure to check us out on Mixcloud.com. Gonna have a lot of fun over there. We got music, we got fun, we got all kinds of stuff, and all the information coming at you. And we'll talk a little bit about what's happening in the world. Peace.
Frosty 333.